Welcome to Kickin It Wit Killa. And today my guest happens to be Jovon Newman. He talks about his music journey. So pull up your seat, spark that brain, and let's kick it.
We kicking it, kicking it, kicking it. We ain't taking no L's. I don't care how they feel. We kicking it.
Jovon, what's going on, my man?
What's up, boss? How are you, dude?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good, man. It's been a long time since I last spoke to you. How's everything going with you?
Everything's been doing well, man. I've been blessed, been able to keep pushing in this music career and my 9 to 5 as well. So can't really complain. Family's good, so everything's cool.
That's good. That's good. That's good. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start off here with something called the quick kick, right?
Okay.
I'm going to ask you a couple questions. So simply, it's like this. You can only choose one. So I'm going to name two things, but you can only choose one, all right?
Okay.
So here we go. First, Old Town Road or Friends in Low Places?
Friends in low places.
Friends in Low Places. You know what? Let me tell you something. I'll play that thing sometimes and it gets everybody singing, man. It's really crazy.
Yeah. Contagious.
So here goes the next one. Luke Bryan or Morgan Wallen?
I'm gonna go with my Morgan for now. I like Morgan.
Morgan? Okay,
Yeah, Morgan Wallen.
okay. Right. No shade to Luke, man. You still in there, but sorry,
Yeah.
Morgan got you. Now, here goes the last one. This is the really, really important one right here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Beer or whiskey?
I'm a whiskey man through and through, man.
See? I knew we were on the same page.
Yeah.
I knew we were on the same page. Yes, sir. It's all about the whiskey. You can keep the beer over there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let's get into this real quick, man. Like tell us about your music journey. I know that originally you were more in the hip hop R&B side. What got you to this place that you're at now?
I say, like, listen, like you said, I've done music for a little bit now, and when I was doing the R&B and hip hop, like, I had some fun, had some pretty good success with it. I just always felt like I wasn't really me, I guess you could say. Like, there were some things that I was doing that I just felt like it was kind of like a facade. I think the biggest thing was I wrote this one song. It's like a pivotal point. Like, I wrote this one song about partying on a Thursday and having 20 bottles of rosé and stuff like that. And when I went to go shoot the music video, they were like, "Hey, get the bottle of rosé." And I was like, "Yeah, all right, cool." I went in there and found out how much one bottle costs, yet alone 20 of them. I was like, why am I putting on this thing? Like, I know what I'm doing. Like I do this stuff. That's not really me.
Right.
I've always liked country music. With R&B specifically, R&B, when I was doing it, I felt like it had some substance behind it. They were really storytelling. Like, I was listening to like early 90s, mid 90s, early 2000 R&B, when it was actually like a story being told other than just like this club going stuff that we're doing now. So
Right.
I felt like with country, like, I've always been a fan of it, but I just felt like I wasn't supposed to do it because, one, me being the obvious, me being black, but on top of that, like, I'm not even from Delaware originally. I'm from North Philly. So, like, being a kid from North Philly trying to do country music, when that's your roots, it's kind of like you really can't. I just felt like it was too late. Either you grew up in it or you didn't. And
Right.
I just like the storytelling behind country music. And then when I finally dove into it and I started listening to it, started writing it, started like respecting the culture, learning more about the culture, finding everything about it, I just felt like I'm where I need to be. I'm finally on that cloud I can float on. That's what I like to say.
So in a sense, you just felt like it fit. Like
Yeah,
once it all
yeah,
came together, you were like, all right, this is it.
yeah. Because, like, and I'm also at a point now, like, my kids listen to my music too, right? And I'm not saying there aren't any craziness in country music. I'm not saying that at all.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
all wild. Everything's wild. But like the traditional storytelling behind it, the wholesomeness behind it, like, I just feel like I can be myself. And, I don't have to
Right.
put on like this facade or anything like that. Like, I'm in the military. I've been firefighter for about 8 years. I lived in Texas for about a year. Like, I'm more versed, and I've seen it, and I'm just like, now I can finally just tell the story.
Okay. I didn't know you were a firefighter.
Yeah, man, I was a firefighter. Yeah, I was a firefighter in the Air Force. So I did that for about 7 years.
And shouts out to all my firefighters, of course, who don't know. I'm pretty sure a lot of people that's tuned in do know this. I'm also a firefighter myself,
Yeah, man.
along with my wife. My wife is a firefighter as well. So yeah, it's definitely a good thing, man.
Yeah,
So
man.
so talking about that transition, man, because I kind of feel you on that, right? So as myself, DJ Killer Noise, right? Originally starting off as a mixtape DJ, landing the gig on Kiss 101.7. So you're solely thinking of myself as a you would think more of a mixtape DJing, like some little bit harder music, some R&B, whatever the case, right? And kind of just like you, I was kind of fighting with it a little bit. I realized like in the basement myself, I'll DJ and I'll throw some of that top 40 on real quick, right? Like a little guilty pleasure or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And myself, I transitioned into doing an open format DJing. So you'll get the hip hop joints from me. You'll get some R&B, but you might get some, you might get a little bit of techno. You might get a little bit of house. You might get a little bit of country, right? Um, if we think about the history, right, DJing. When we go back into like New York history, so and we'll just pick New York as a place. The New York DJs back in the day were doing more than just playing hip hop music. They were playing whatever can get you dancing. And I decided to return to that, right? So I'm not gonna pigeonhole myself into just one little spot of just doing hip hop or rap music when I could be more broader. And it's the same thing here, right? We're kicking it with Killa being more broad, right? We have comedians, we have actors, managers, yourself, a my first country music artist that I'm interviewing right now. Can we give a clap for that? The first country music artist that I'm interviewing, right? So it's always good to kind of to just not be stuck in one place, right?
Yeah.
It's always good to kind of like explore other options that's out there, and you might find something that really, really works for you. So, what is your advice for a music artist that might be stuck in that middle? Like, okay, I'm doing this particular genre of music. Like, I might feel like I probably could do better in other, or not even sure. I might be able to do better in another genre of music or whatever. What might be your advice to that artist there?
I feel like I'm a big believer of like you are, you're a product of your environment, right?
Right, right,
And I also feel like sometimes if you want to go for greatness, you got to put yourself next to people that are doing great things. So what that means
right.
is like broaden your circle, and like pray to God. Like for me, I'm a man of God, so I was praying for, I wanted Him to enlarge in my territory. I wanted to see new things. I want to experience new things and be developed as a person. And I'm not saying it's nothing wrong with R&B. It's nothing wrong with hip hop. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying me being
Right.
from a small town in Delaware, from Philly, but then moving to moving to Middletown. If you're not versed, if you're not out there traveling and stuff like that, you're gonna kind of like put yourself in a box. So I tell all my artist friends and stuff like that. I was like, you need to have discernment. You need to have the persistence. You got to be persistent. You got to be have the
Absolutely.
perseverance. You got to do
Right.
that, and you got to be willing to try new things because you never know. And don't be afraid to make your own wave. Just because it's like a path that people may not take doesn't mean that's not it's a path that you shouldn't take. Like,
Right.
kind of pioneer your own way. And I'm not saying I'm the only black artist. I am not the only black country artist from Delaware. Obviously,
You're definitely not.
out the gym, like he's probably one of the ones that like really, really took it up there. But don't be afraid to try something new. Don't be afraid to bet on yourself. And at the end of the day, if you're enjoying what you're doing, don't do it for the money. This isn't a money grab. This isn't a clout grab. I didn't start doing country music because, respectfully, it's not because Beyonce started dropping her album. I was doing this before that. Like,
Right.
shout out to B, by the way. But like, some people are trying to get on the wave now, and I was like, nah, he's just just do it. Just go for it. Don't. And if no one likes it, that's fine. There's a lid for every pot out there too. And that's one thing I've been learning is like, hey, maybe I lost some fans. Full transparency, bro. I lost fans when I started doing country music.
Right.
Some were friends, some were family, some were like, true supporters. They're just like, yeah, man, this is just a phase for you. And this was like 4 years ago. And now they're like, oh, I guess he's serious. This really wants to what he really wants to do. So don't be
Mhm.
afraid to bet on yourself. Um, it's all
Yes.
gonna work out at the end of the day.
Yeah, I like that, man. Don't be afraid to bet on yourself. Um, I feel like the music game, whatever you're doing, right? Life in general is trial and error, right? Give it a try. Like sometimes a certain way that you might be doing something might not work. Dust it off, figure out what happened on that one, go back at it in a
Mhm.
different angle. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I respect everything that you're doing, man. Definitely keep up the hard work. You're making some noise out here, brother. Let me tell you, you're doing your thing, bro.
All right,
You're
man.
definitely doing your thing. How would you describe country music today? Like the sound of country music today?
I think country music is at a really cool part, a really really cool place right now. Some may not agree, but also I like to look at it from different angles. Um, some may argue that country music is too has left like they're losing the traditional aspect of it, like the true country, the true sound of country music, like 90s country. That's where 90s and 80s country music. That's where a lot of people are, like the Tim McGraws, the Garth Brooks, and all them. Like, so a lot of people are like, "Hey, we're kind of getting away from that. It's a lot more 808s and traps and stuff like that." Which on the other side, I actually like because I'm like, that's the cross country part of it that I like because now you have country is no longer just to this side. It's now opening up the door for other people and their own interpretations of it. And now you have like, the reason why I chose Morgan over Luke is because I feel like Morgan right now has found a way to kind of talk cross different platforms. Like he's not just, yes, he's a country singer, writer, phenomenal artist, but now he's doing songs with Little Dirk and Little Wayne
Right.
and
Mm-hmm.
and Rick Ross and
Uh,
and he has Drake, maybe not on a song yet, but you know what I'm saying? So like he's bringing, hip hop elements into it. So I think that's a really cool way to kind of bring another genre of music, another entity, another culture into this. And as you get into country music, you start realizing that if you take back the stereotypical thought of it and you start diving into it, you start learning the history behind it, you'll be surprised who actually started this whole thing. So
hmm.
I just think country music's in a good, really good spot. But it is at a division. Um, I like where it's going. Has this cross country path, but it's also fighting to keep its the traditional sound. So you're always going to have that beef. But if you think about it, it's like that with any genre, though, because you're going to have the new school R&B, and you're going to be like, "This is it," and then you got the old '90s, but like, "Hey, if they're not singing Jagged Edge, what are they doing?" like,
Right.
you know what I'm
I mean, I guess that's everything, right? That's like all genres, isn't it? Like just like you're saying, like you know, eh, with hip hop, even with hip hop, right? I found myself taking a step back because I wasn't really feeling the new music that was coming out, hip hop wise. So yeah, there is that struggle between the way it originally started and the way that it might be going. And you know what? There's room for both. There's room for both, right? There's so many people in this world. There's definitely room for both. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I agree. I agree with you on that one, man.
If I
Like
had to put it in a nutshell, because I know that was like a long way around the answer, it's just country music's at a good spot, but it is at a crossroad. like I just put
yeah,
it that way.
yeah, yeah.
You got people fighting to bring the nostalgia back, and you got people trying to, take it and open up more doors, which I think they're
Right.
both great. But you said there's room for both.
So I have a fan question for you real quick. Um, this fan wanted to talk about your song "Certified." So the question that this fan has for you is, how did you come up with that song itself? It's a two-parter question, right? So how did you come up with that song itself? And the second part of that question is, was the video shot in Delaware?
I'll answer the second question first. But so yes, the video was shot in Delaware. It was shot down in Laurel, Delaware. So the
Laurel, okay. Good old
Deep
Chicken
Chester.
County.
Yep, I was at Chickberry Farms. That's where I shot it at.
Okay,
So
okay,
not too far from Seaford and Laurel, and so I was down there.
yeah,
And it was cool because I had one of the hosts from Chicken 101.3 did a cameo in the video too, so that was pretty cool. But yeah,
nice,
shot it
nice.
right here in Delaware.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
as
Good old
far as
Sussex County.
yeah, man, listen, I'm a northern boy in Delaware. I'll tell you this: the more time I spend down in Sussex, I'm just like I might have to I might have to move down this way. It's a lot more to do down there. I know it's more space. I like the. I just that's a
Yeah.
whole nother conversation. Sussex, shout out to Sussex County. But the song, man, the song honestly was probably one of like the hardest songs for me to write because that was my first attempt of actually writing something real for myself, not what I think, what I want people to hear, but I wanted them to hear. I was like, I just want the right for me. Actually, the song was actually written for my wife. My wife grew up in Kent County, and my wife was like, she was very versed with music, right? So she was in the country music, hip hop, R&B, the whole nine. And when I told her I wanted to, she knew that I like country music, and she was like, you had a couple of ventures when you were in a couple of groups, and although they did what they did, but she was like, I think it's time for you just to kind of like bet on yourself. And I don't know if I could do that. I've been used to I've been known to be doing my music venture, whether it be in a duo or like I was in a boy band at one point too. So it was just like
Okay.
no one really knew who Jovon Newman was. They were just like, oh, you're Jay of JQ, or you're so and so of Premiere. I'm just kind of like, yeah, but no one really knew who Jovon was. And
Right.
so she was like, just go for it. So I was telling her how I wanted to do this. She surprised me with a trip down to Nashville,
Mm.
and like, it's stupid because it was our anniversary, and I thought we were going to go somewhere else. I just gave her the money. She bought the tickets. I look up, we're going down to Nashville. So I'm going up and down Broadway. It's my first time down there. We went to Music Row and everything. And I'm walking around. I just see artists just getting after it, the hustle. Like, that's one thing about that city that's just very, if you want to, and it's not even just country music. That's the common misconception. But like, is if you're an artist, that's a city where that's the mecca. It's called Music City for a reason. So going down there,
Right.
seeing all this stuff, I came back like inspired, but I was broke because we spent all our money down there. So I was like, well, I gotta give her something. So I started working on this song, and through the highs and lows in our relationships and stuff like that, and I had to write it for her. So it took me about, I want to say about 8 months for me to actually write that
Okay.
song. And I know it, and it's not winning any Grammys. Like, it's not. I mean, it did win Best Country Song of the Year thanks to Delaware Public Media. Shout out to them. But
There you
um,
go.
it didn't. It wasn't meant for that. It was meant for her. And so I wanted to make sure I did it right. I wanted to capture all the elements that reminded me of her. I didn't really do too much back road exploring until I was in my adult years. I was always trying to party and go to the club and stuff, and then life slowed down for me a little bit, and then I found out how maybe going down Route 9 is a lot more scenic and peaceful than going down 13 sometimes, right?
Uh-huh.
But this
Uh-huh.
one, I wrote this song for her because she introduced me to that. So yeah, certified. It's a song for my wife. It's a song about the things that I've done with her that she introduced me to, and just getting after it. And then it was actually kind of a blend of and this is why I was telling you earlier with the car with country music, and I kind of fall on the newer side. I think I finally coined or figured out what kind of genre I am. I think I like to call it cross country. Because if you listen to Certified, I was
Okay.
bringing elements from like my old like other people I used to listen to. I have a lot. Believe it or not, there's a little bit of Tupac in Certified. A lot of people don't even realize that.
Is there?
There's a line that's like, "All I need in this life, yeah, is you and me to the
Mhm.
very end." Like that was me paying homage to Tupac. You
Nice.
know what I'm
Oh,
saying? So full of
okay.
just
Okay.
different things. So Certified is one of those songs that will forever be one of my favorites because how long it took, how
Hmm.
serious I took it, and it was kind of like my introduction to this genre. So
Shouts out to the wives. For real, right? It sounds. I feel. I'm definitely feeling you on this one. Like, my wife. She has my back during this new venture myself. She's had my back through a lot of things, right? So there's a lot of times that she might look at me crazy. I look at her crazy, whatever, right? That's just how it'll be. But ultimately, and I feel like right there with me, is if we didn't have that support of our wives, would this thing work out as well as it is working out? You know what I'm saying? And so definitely shouts out to the wives that has their husband's back, and shout out to the husbands that have their wife's back. You know what I'm saying? So it's a two-way game, brother. I want to circle back too, right? Because you said about Sussex County, right? Eventually moving out there to Sussex County. Now, myself, when I first moved to Delaware, I lived in Wilmington area, right? So, um, fast forward, I found myself. I wanted to buy a house. We're living in Maryland. Wanted to buy a house in Delaware. I said anywhere, anywhere, and I found a spot out in Sussex County of all places, right? I'm like, this is way too far out. But Sussex County of all places, you are correct. It is definitely it's different, and it's different in a sense, in a good way, right? So like I felt like I was in Mayberry, right? I moved up into the house, and like neighbors are like bringing cakes and like food and saying welcome to the neighborhood, and like I'm like, what is going on here, right? This is something completely different, and damn near like I feel like the neighbors knew all my information before I even moved in. Like I came in there and was like, hey, you know what I'm saying, I'm a firefighter, da 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 da, and they're like, oh yeah, we know. I'm like, dang. Like they know. So yeah, shouts out to Sussex County. um Shouts out to the spot that you definitely shot that video as well. It's definitely a good thing. So what can we expect from you in the future? I know you said you have a show going on today. I know you have plenty of shows going on. What can we expect? What is the ultimate goal for you?
Full transparency, my ultimate goal. So I'm currently in the Air National Guard, right? I've been in for about 10 years.
Okay.
I'm doing it full time. The Air Guard is designed for it to be a part time. So actually, the Air Guard is designed for it to be any way you want it to be, whether it be part time, full time. But traditionally, it's a part time gig. I've been doing it full time now because there's bills to be paid. So
Exactly.
I think my ultimate goal with music is to, if I had it in my way, and this is what I'm gearing up to do and working towards, is to make this a full time situation for me. Um, Actually full fledged jump into music and write and perform and travel and to do the whole nine. While I still serve my country, I still do my commitment on the drill weekends, but I
Right.
want to do country music and I want to serve my country. And it's not too many. There's a bunch of artists, not even just in the country genre, that were in the military, but I don't know too many that are actively still serving and are able to balance that life. So I want to see if I can
Right.
be one of the ones that do that. So what's coming up in the near future, besides the shows, I have a couple shows coming up. Like I have one this afternoon in Elkton. We're doing a little marina gig, and then I'll be. We just opened up for Connor Smith this Thursday, like this past like 2 days ago, in Bottle and Cork,
Nice.
and
Okay.
a month before that, we were with Chris Lane and Jimmy Allen. So we're definitely moving. I'm working on a couple of singles. I just dropped one on the 25th of July, and the next one's coming out September 12th. I have a new
Okay.
single coming, and so my goal is to drop a new single every 6 to 8 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
um, just to keep it going, Just feed. I had a lot to say. I've been writing, been getting in a lot of writing rooms, and met a lot of cool people, and I just want to take you guys on this journey. I don't want to do an EP. Nothing against it. I want to try something different with the next body of music. I just want to tell a story, and each one that I'm gonna put out is just going to kind of let you see a little bit more deeper into who Jovon Newman is. I just got with a management deal, so I have
Nice.
a new type of manager. His name is Brad Austin. Shout out to Brad, a Ford Music Management Company. He's managed the most known one. Is like Sam Grow. So I'm in the camp
Okay.
with Sam Grow out of Maryland, and it's really cool times right now. We'll be
That's
traveling back and
good.
forth to
That's good.
Nashville. Something dope. And this is another reason why I feel like God is really has his hand in this. So I'm gonna answer this question, and then I kind of want you to advice for other artists. When I say bet on yourself, what I mean by this is like don't be afraid to go after it and be resilient. And then also remember you never know who's in the crowd. That's one thing I can tell you. So whenever you step on
Mm.
stage, make sure you're giving it 100% everywhere you go. And the reason why I say that is because I did a show down in Bottle and Cork, and I opened up for this other artist. His name is Scotty Hasting. Scotty Hasting is a Army vet. He was in it for 10 years and he was shot over in Afghanistan. He was a combat vet. And he's like the 50 Cent of country. I'm not going to hold you. Like the way he got back and did his thing. And I opened for him, and he saw my dog tags, and we're talking about the military and everything. And when he found out that I was still in, he was like, "Hey, I wanna give you. I have a guy." He said verbatim, "I have a guy that I want to introduce you to." And I was like, "All right, cool." 2 days later, someone calls me, and he was like, "Hey, my name is Guy." And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "No, my name is legit Guy." And I was like, "Oh, okay." We get talking, and he has this. He's one of the board members for Operation Encore, and Operation Encore
Mm,
is this nonprofit organization for military members, whether they're still in or veterans or whatever, spouses of military members that are trying to break into the music industry, and they kind of like support them. It's kind of like creative vets, and they just support you. So I send them my packet. 2 days later, they pulled me on the team, and I ended up getting, I guess you could say, signed with them. And since then, they've been flying. I've been going back and forth to Nashville. The last 3 songs that I recorded that you guys are gonna be hearing coming up were all recorded in Kentwell's studio in Nashville, and that's where Dolly Parton and Reba and all of them. That's where they record. Like their plaques are on the
right.
wall. So when I say to my artists, this is what I'm excited about coming up. But the reason why I was able to do this is because you got to take a chance on yourself, and you got to be able to just go for it. It does not matter. You never know who's in the room. Don't, in all hindsight of things, even it's weird to even say this, but like, you got to be humbled enough to be like, hey, as much as you want people to know you, people don't know you. So the diva status kind of has to go to the side. You got to understand that
Yes.
business, you still got to learn it. You still got to grow. There's levels to it. Don't take things personally. That's what I've been learning, and it's been able to get me in a position where I'm about to be dropping new music for you guys, videos. I'm about to go on a radio tour next week to promote my latest single, "Never Felt This Way Before." So yeah, that's kind of like I'm answering 2 questions at the same time. Um, that's what I'm about to do. About to keep pushing these singles, dropping music, and getting on this road. Do this music thing full time. That's the plan. And to circle back to the advice, y'all, like, you just keep going. Like, you kind of have to, you got to bet on you. No one's going to care about you and your career more than you. So you got to do
Right.
it.
I like it. I can't even piggyback off of that, man. You said it well yourself, man. You just dropped some gems on them. And I think the artists need to, you know, sit back, play this thing back again. Like listen to that. Treat it as a motivation, right? Like stick with what you're doing. You said it the best. Leave all that diva stuff to the side, right?
Yeah.
Stop acting like, like there's no room for improvement. There's always going to be room for improvement.
Mhm,
And just stay focused. Stay focused, stay motivated, stay persistent. Just like you
mhm.
said, man. I definitely like what you're saying, brother. And you sound like you got a lot of things coming for you. Sound like God's blessing you. That's definitely a thing, man. So shouts out to you. Keep doing your thing, brother. For real.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
So I want to thank you for coming on the show, man. I really appreciate it. At some point, we're gonna need to get you back on here again if you're good with that, man.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, bro. Like, I wouldn't miss it. Let's make
There
it
you go.
happen.
There you go. Of course, you were locked into Kicking It With Killa. And remember, doesn't matter what season you're in, whether it's the fallback, the get back, or the comeback. You're special. You have purpose. So get out there and get it. Peace.